There's no project of social transformation these days. And you know, the idea of the end of history, which have been dismissed several times, at the same time, is still the official ideology. I mean, look at the left in Europe today. I mean, we have been discussing that. It's precisely the same thing. So what we are trying to do, in a sense, is that the damage of this knowledge to control, and control in a very, very, you know, constrained way. I mean, is in fact a move. The idea that there is an alternative is very important for a legitimation, transformation. I'm not addressing so much the political issue, but of course is always behind my thinking, is that we have been in the last 30 years in a move which has been very insidious and hidden of a change of the source of legitimacy. The legitimacy of democracies in the North is not consensus anymore, it's resignation. Because since there is no alternative, what should we do? That's resignation. So that's why, in fact, our knowledge, the prevalent knowledge, is creating incompetent conformists, in a sense. What I'd like to, in a sense, in my work, is to produce competent rebels. Because we have lots of rebels, but they are very incompetent. I am here because it's all... I know it's not, we still have some time, so it's... That was a good note to end. Sorry. It's my head on time. I'm sorry. No, you know, more questions or I can go on. So what I wanted to now to go from here is that if we now move to more detailed analysis of intercultural translation, you'll see that behind of these ideas, at least as I develop them, are always political needs. And the political need for this has been developed in the context of the World Social Forum from 2001 onwards, in which we found so many different social movements coming together, different languages and different semantics, different repertoires of struggle, lots of misunderstandings, incapacity to understanding each other. And since I've been very much involved in all this, we start trying to develop encounters where different views can be exchanged, made each other mutually intelligible without you know, losing their identity. And this has been part of the project of the Universidade Popular dos Movimentos Sociais, the Popular University of Social Movements. And just to give you just a short example, is that we're in Lima, in Peru, recently, we were facing a problem because people, you probably know, they have been fighting, you know, against the mining projects that are going on, destroying the Amazonian region. The indigenous people have been, you know, neoliberalism has been doing their way with Alan Garcia in Peru. And in fact now they have Ollanta Humala, which is the new president, and he's trying to, well, I don't know how much he'll be able to fix. But it was part of the struggle of indigenous people. And in fact we're trying to organize the cooperation among articulations, among different movements. And we discovered that it was impossible to bring the women's movement together with the indigenous movement. And why it was impossible? Because for the indigenous people, or the feminists are lesbians, and they don't like lesbians. And for the feminists, the indigenous people are the worst male chauvinists, you know, much worse than whites. How can we get together? So we got together for 2 days in Lima. Several indigenous movements and several feminist movements. And it was, you know, in the beginning difficult because we'll see the methodology, we start by presentation of the different movements, struggles, strategies, words, concepts. Some use of why the women don't like emancipation, they like liberation, and why, you know, you see, intercultural translation you have to do all time about this. And then after 2 days, it was fabulous to come to the conclusions of that meeting. And in fact, we have to have a 2-day meeting. And never 1 day. We have to spend a night together. So we have to dance, we have to drink, we have to do all kinds of things because there are many people that don't speak the first day. They never speak. But then we have rap, we have music, we have dance, and people really have different ways of expressing themselves. So different forms of knowledge. We have that in our universities, but it's extracurriculum. Imagine dance within our classes. Imagine rap within that. It's impossible. But you see, we have to do that extra. But, you know, if you manage to bring them together. So at the end, what was clear, that the conclusions were very interesting. The first one was that for the indigenous people, it was very clear first that not all the feminists are lesbians. Second, that lesbian is just a sexual orientation like any other. There's nothing to criticize. For the feminists, they came to know something. It's amazing how these white women didn't know of this. There is a strong feminist indigenous movement in the indigenous people. They are indigenous movements. They are feminists. They are women. Some came to our meeting and said, well, look, we are fighting against male chauvinism within indigenous people. Of course there is. But we want to do it our own way. We don't want to import your ways and your concerns. And you can imagine that there are different worlds. I mean, the feminists, while the feminists were vindicated, the white feminists, the right to work of women, for indigenous people, it doesn't make any sense. We have been working all the time. In fact, the people that care about the field are the women, not the men. So what is this domestic work and things like that? They don't understand. Different reality. So you could understand these things here, and here you can see, so the commensurability, the understanding, the mutual understanding is easier. It's not an epistemological idea. It's because, in fact, in this case, the indigenous people and feminists were on the same line, on the same side of the struggle. So they were struggling for emancipation. They wanted to be allies, but they could not ally in such a way in which all the prejudices, stereotypes, were in the way of communicating. So they have to destroy the stereotypes and the prejudices before aggregating their interests. So here it was possible to go from this incommensurability to a kind of a mutual intelligibility. And in fact it had an impact. 2 months later there was a huge demonstration in Lima by different social movements, and the women were side by side with indigenous people, struggling for the same purpose of the dually criticizing, of course, the fight against the TLC, or the free trade agreement that Alan Garcia established with the United States and took, you know, all this destruction of the Amazonian region, which is still undergoing, of course, it's underway. So these are the kinds of things that we can develop, and these are just examples. Tomorrow I would like to address some of the ideas within the field of human rights, and if we have time we can also go on, you know, to democracy, since there is some interest in here, and we can go